Just be real quiet.
Perfect. Okay, we'll go ahead and admit. I usually have a staff member helping. Let's see. I can do it. Good evening, everybody.
Here we go.
Oh, we've got the announcement on. I forgot to turn that off. Welcome. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes. I want to give everybody just a few more to get settled. All the faces. That's great.
Sure, camera off. Yeah, camera's off.
Yeah, they're not. Oh, kidding me. I thought somebody was pretty naughty.
On a while ago.
Click on
I think most of us are actually here. So we could probably get started with just some housekeeping here really quickly. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jessica Vasher. I'm the Community Engagement Manager here at Gleaner Life, and I'm really excited that we're all here learning about the beautiful Canadian Majestic Rockies and our upcoming Banff trip. So looking forward to Tracy from Premier World Discovery is going to go through everything here, answer your questions at the end. And so make sure you hold those and then let us know. I'm going to ask everybody at this time to go ahead and mute. I will also be muting you if I notice that you are not, just to make sure that this meeting runs smoothly and we can kind of cut down on those background noises. A couple things before we get started is I want you to get familiar with this app because there are a couple key features. One of them is the raise hand icon. When we do go to answering those questions, it's really important that you hit that button and let us know that you're interested in speaking or asking a question. It lets me know that you would like to talk and I can call on you in turn. So raise hand icon, I've hit it here a couple times. Hopefully it's popping up on the screen. Yep, there it is. So please do that. Also, if you're finding that maybe my words aren't matching with my face or Tracy's, that's probably because if you've got your camera on, your bandwidth is just getting a little bit overused. Give me 1 second. And if you go ahead and turn that camera off, that will help your streaming surface. Don't know who that is. Give me 1 second to look at that. I'm going to let that one in. Maybe I can chat them. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to not let that one in for a moment. I apologize. Sorry. We went over if your internet's running a little slow, turn your camera off. We talked about the raise hand icon. The chat feature is here. I'm going to go ahead and send a chat. If you're wanting to ask your questions as we go through the presentation, we'll be sure that we answer those at the appropriate time. So go ahead and jot them down in the chat. And then I think as far as that goes, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Tracy from Premier World Discovery, and she's going to go ahead and get started for us.
Thank you, Jessica. My name is Tracy Shank, coming to you live from Livonia, Michigan. So I am in the same time zone with probably all of you, but thank you for joining tonight. I am really excited to share information about the Majestic Canadian Rockies tour. My sister used to live in Calgary, so I've spent lots of time up here and absolutely love this area of North America. It is just so incredibly beautiful. I've got a lot to share with you today. So as Jessica mentioned, just hold those questions till the end. We will get to them all. We'll make sure that you have everything answered. And I'm going to go ahead and walk through this with you. So this is coming up August 23rd to the 28th of 2026. I know you must all be getting excited and packing and getting ready to go. You are in really, really good hands. Jessica will be there and manage everything. We have a tour director with you and everything will just be so smooth and wonderful. So, and the best part about this trip is you're staying in one hotel the whole time, which is fantastic. So what I would like you to do I would like you to take your final trip packet of information and open it up and take everything out. Yes, your what kind of denim looking packet, and take everything out. And I'm going to walk through these specific documents with you. And don't worry, this will be less than an hour. I know it looks like a lot, but we'll cover so much with you today. The document that is most important that I want you to pull out, there's actually two, but the most important one is the one that says important travel information and helpful hints. This is a folder. It's usually kind of toward the back. It's a little bit thicker. And this is where I'm going to cover all the paragraphs in this document and kind of skim through this. And this is where we get to the good stuff. This is the things that are important. Another document you might want to open and have it in front of you would be the daily itinerary. Also a folder. So they're both kind of thick. You could lay them side by side, and that way we can kind of go between them when I kind of refer to one or the other. So let's go ahead and get started. So again, important travel information and helpful hints. Follow along. My presentation actually follows along with these paragraphs. So you'll be able to kind of follow along on that document. First paragraph says, "Dear guest," and these are your travel documents. My advice to you is to make sure you carry that packet in your carry-on bag, not your, certainly not your suitcase or anything like that. Put it in your carry-on bag. And let's talk about your passport, because this is really, really an important thing. Your passports, you make sure when you leave the house that you take the correct passport, not an expired passport. Make sure you have the right one. Double check those expiration dates. Make sure it's valid for 6 months from the trip. I would recommend you take a picture of it, a photo of it with your phone or a photocopy, and have that extra copy. And then when you get to the hotel, it's not a bad idea to put it in a safe in your room versus leaving it, carrying it around every day, that type of thing. You'll obviously need it on your fly days, but the rest of the time you should be able to keep it with you the whole time as well. Okay. Let's go to the next paragraph after that, which says seat assignments. This is very, very important that you are aware of this. We have multiple airlines on this, and they all have different rules and all have different guidelines for seating and check-in and baggage and all that. So I'm going to do my best to give you the best current information, but know that airline seats are assigned by the airline. We do not do seating. We're not allowed to do seating. We used to, but then they've taken that power away from us. So the airlines control that. And the reason for that is a lot of them are now trying to make money off of seats, right? When you go to, check your seats, there's dollar signs on them, and you can upgrade and pay for extra seats. So be aware of that. We always give the airline our manifest. These two are traveling together. This couple has the same last name. These people need to be together. But again, the airlines have complete power over the seating. So I would recommend before you go, I'll show you how you can do that, is to look at your flight schedule. If you really are adamant that you want specific seats, you might want to pay extra to pay for that seat and make sure that you get it. I travel a lot as a single, or I travel with a friend, and we're always aware that we might split just because seats aren't always available together. But again, I would check, and I'll show you how you can do that. Okay, we'll get to that in the next screen. Air Canada seat policy. I wanted to throw this in here because they are very strict about their seat policy. We have a small group. I don't know who's all flying Air Canada, but just be aware that seats, obviously are not assigned until the trip. You can, ask when you're checking in. You can certainly go on. It says online check-in is not available for groups, but I think it's only a couple people, so you should be good. But just know that they're all very strict with their seat policy. The next paragraph after airline seat assignments, I'm going to talk to you about airline seat assignments from this document. You all have a light blue document in your packet. That light blue document has all your e-ticket information. So what I'd like you to do is look at that document. At the very bottom, your name is highlighted in yellow. I think it's yellow. And I'd like you to look at that and just make sure your name is spelled correctly. If there's any mistakes, please, please let us know, because this is how you're ticketed. This should match your passport. I want to make sure that we have everything correct on there. And then, of course, when you get to the airport, and forgive me because this page here says license, but it is your passport. On that document, also in the top right corner, and if you have two different airlines, there's two of these, there's a booking reference number in that top right corner. And I think if you go halfway down the page, you might see another one if you are using two different airlines. That booking reference number is also called a confirmation number. What that means is you can go on your airline's websites, and usually it will say trips or my trips, and that you would click that, and then you can put in that confirmation number and your last name, and then you can pull up your reservation. Now, know this, if you do not have a computer, if you are not computer savvy or you're not comfortable, it's absolutely fine. You will be able to check in at the airport. But my recommendation obviously would be to try to check in and look at this in advance and kind of see the layout of the plane and where you're sitting. And you can upgrade your seats online. If you want to like pay extra, you can do that. If you want to, call the airline, any of that kind of stuff, all that information is found on that blue sheet. So if you wanted to call the airline or look up something, make sure you have that sheet handy, okay? That is your e-ticket information. There is a sheet of paper in your packet that says air and hotel information. There's actually 2 copies of this in your packet. So let's look at that sheet of paper. It should be right on the top. It's usually right towards the top. Air and hotel information. There are so many different airports for this group. I'm very excited to announce that we have lots of cities that people are coming in from, which I will show you in a moment. So pull this document out, and I'm going to go through them one by one. The first one is our Detroit Metro travelers that are flying on United Airlines. This is, I think, the majority of the group. You are going to arrive Detroit Metro, and I'm going to just tell you this, your flight departs at, I got to move this box here, 9:06 a.m. I would like you to try to be at the airport 2.5 hours before, 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. The reason is you're flying international and time is our friend. I know it seems extreme, but there's construction at Detroit Metro Airport. You might get confused. You might go to the wrong terminal. You might forget something. You want to have that extra time. So what I'm going to recommend to you, yours truly, will be at Detroit Metro Airport. Sorry, all the other airports, I can't be everywhere, but I'll be at Detroit Metro. If you're being dropped off, door number 3, right when you walk inside is United. So I will either be inside or outside, kind of like with a clipboard, looking for everybody, helping. If you need help with anything, I'm always available. So that group, you're going to come to Detroit Metro. Now, United is very finicky about groups. More than likely, you probably won't have seating yet. You can try to check in 24 hours in advance. You can try to prepay bags, but there's a chance you might be just checking in the day of. You can definitely try 24 hours. I would recommend it. Maybe Jessica, get a hold of me and let me know how that goes 24 hours in advance. But if you can't, please don't panic. You all have reservations. You all are guaranteed on that flight, and we have a block of seats. It's just United is a little finicky about groups, and they want to upsell their seats. So when you log in on United, you look at the plane. If you want to purchase seats, you can, or you can just wait till the day of. Okay, so you're going to depart at 9:06. I'll be there. If you arrive at 6:30, I'll be there before you. I'm going to be there by 6:30, and I'll have my little sign, and I'm going to help everybody. The nice thing about United at Detroit Metro is that the kiosk machines are right at the counter. So all the people there are available to help. I'll get there early, and they might even do a private group check-in for us. Sometimes they do that for me. But you're going to connect through Denver at 10:18, and then you depart Denver at 11:21, and that's on United again. My recommendation is going to be get to Denver, get to the next gate before you grab a bite to eat, before you use the restroom, before anything. Just get to the next gate first, and then once you get to your Calgary gate, you can at that point you can grab a bite to eat, use the restroom, that type of thing, grab a cup of coffee, because you've only got an hour layover. By the time you get off that plane, you're probably going to have about 45 minutes. So the walk might take you 15 minutes or so. It's not too bad depending on where you come in. Denver's a pretty big airport, so don't dilly-dally. You want to get on. You want to get on that Denver flight, and then you're going to depart for Calgary at 11:21 a.m. So I again recommend just be there for boarding by about 10:45. So that gives you about a half hour after you land to kind of get everything you need to do. You'll arrive in Calgary at 1:53, and this goes for everybody on this flight. When you get to Calgary, Nalani, your tour director, will be waiting for you and looking for you in the baggage area. So it's important that you get to baggage, and then you'll be wearing your lanyards. We'll talk about that, and then she'll find you there. On the return flight, the Detroit group is flying WestJet. You are flying nonstop from Calgary to Detroit. WestJet is a Canadian airline. It's a nice nonstop flight from 11 a.m. to 4:40 p.m. in Detroit, and I'll be there to greet you when you get back. So that's the Detroit people. Then we also have two people, Paul and Linda, that are flying out of Detroit on their own. Plan to be there 2 hours before. Your flight is at 6:30, I think, 6:36. So if you can try to get there by 4:30 a.m., that would be great. I know that sounds really early, but again, I'm always concerned about busy security or, backups, things like that. If any of you are parking off-site in Detroit, you take the shuttle and they'll bring you in, and then you just come over to the terminal and find United, and I'll be there, okay? Again, if you're being dropped off, Paul and Linda, if you're being dropped off, drop off at door number 1. The rest of you on United, door number 3. Okay. And then again, when you arrive in Calgary, just look for Nalani. And then in your flight back, you're Calgary through Dallas. Our next group of flying group, I don't know how many people exactly, but we have some people from Grand Rapids Airport. Welcome. Congrats. It's exciting. I would like you to arrive Grand Rapids Airport a couple hours before as well. I know Grand Rapids is tiny, and I know it's an easy airport, but again, my main concern for you is time. If you forget something, if something goes awry in the morning and you need that extra time, it's really good to have it. So you're flying Grand Rapids through Denver, and then you will also connect on that 11:21 flight to Calgary with the rest of the group, which is kind of fun. And then you fly back also Calgary. Oh, wait, nope, your return time is wrong. Your document must be, Julie and Shirley, we'll talk about this because your return flight shows to Detroit here. And you should be going back to Grand Rapids, so that must be a typo. So we'll look at that after the meeting, and I'll check that. And then we've got, let's see, the next one, Chicago O'Hare. Welcome. We have a group of people flying from Chicago. So you're flying on American on the way out nonstop, and United on the way back nonstop. You have your flight schedule, and we all know, well, I know because I lived in Chicago, you definitely want to allow 2.5 hours for O'Hare. As we know, traffic, anything that can be going on at O'Hare, we want you to have lots of time. I always say 2.5 hours, 2 at the latest, but this is considered an international flight. So you certainly want to make sure that you have that extra time for passport check-in and that as well. So you fly American 10 a.m. to 12:57 p.m. nonstop. And then on your way back, you're on United. And if we ever split airlines like that, there's a reason. We're trying to get you the best schedules because Calgary is pretty limited on airlines and timing and what's going to fit with the itinerary. So that must have been the reason they wanted you to fly out a little bit later in the afternoon. So it must have been United was the best option. So again, there's our O'Hare people. And then we have our Green Bay, Wisconsin travelers. Very, very exciting. Welcome, Wisconsin. You'll be departing Green Bay. I'm trying to move this box here. There we go. At 6:15 a.m. And you're connecting through Minneapolis at 7:33. Then you have Minneapolis to Calgary. So you have a little bit of a time, quite a bit of time in Minneapolis, which is a beautiful airport. I've lived there too. So Minneapolis airport's like beautiful, like a mall. So enjoy your time there. Grab a bite to eat, maybe get some breakfast. I also plan to arrive by 4 a.m. I'm going to leave that up to you because again, I know Green Bay is a small airport. I've been there, but certainly allow ample time. You'll arrive in Calgary at 12:55, and then that's Delta, and then you will return from Calgary through Minneapolis to Green Bay again on Delta Airlines. Okay, so that's your schedule, and that should be in your packet. Everybody that has a different flight schedule has their own packet. And look at this. We have someone coming from Phoenix, 2 people, Linda and Joan. Welcome. We're very excited to see that. You are flying WestJet on the way out, nonstop Phoenix to Calgary, and that's a nonstop flight right around that same time of arrival. And then on your return, you are United connecting through Denver. And again, when that works out like that, it's just timing and flight schedules in that as well. So you'll leave at 1:27, you'll connect land at 4:01 and leave at 7:25. And I do recommend when you have layovers like that, get dinner. You know, enjoy that downtime a little bit, and then you'll be arriving back in Phoenix at 8:24. And lots of different time zones going on here. So certainly lots of flight schedules. Grand Rapids, make sure that we connect later so I can get that corrected. I think if that, I took that timing right off of your document, so I'm assuming yours might have a typo. So we'll take a look at that after for Grand Rapids. Let's talk about the nitty-gritty things about each airline so that you're aware of this. So United Airlines, I don't know how savvy all of you are, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but all of these airlines have an app that you can put on your phone. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a very tech savvy person. But I do like the apps for the airline only because when you fly, it will tell you, hey, it's time to check in. Hey, your bags are at Carousel 5. Hey, welcome to Minneapolis. You're at gate whatever. Welcome to Denver. Your gate is this. You know, those types of things are very helpful with the airline and the app. But I do understand that not everyone maybe even has a cell phone, or not everyone is comfortable using an app. And that's okay. We're going to have a group of people stay together and you'll all be fine. And at the airport, there's always signs that tell you what your gate is. So just be aware of your surroundings and where your gate is and all that. But United Airlines, they have an app. Their baggage fees. So let's talk about baggage fees. This is always a big question. People say, oh, bags aren't free. No, bags are not free. It's international, but it's Canada, so they do charge for luggage. So you need to be aware of this. United baggage fees are $50. All the airlines just went up in April. So the baggage fees are $50 per bag each way. And you have to use a credit card. They do not accept cash. So you will do that when you're checking in. You can pay that. You might even be able to prepay online. I'm not sure. With a group, may or may not allow you to do that. But again, credit cards only. Maximum 50 pounds. So $50, 50 pounds. Those of you flying United. Those of you flying American Airlines, they also have an app. Baggage fees are $50, 50 pounds, kind of the same thing. If any of you have the credit cards that go along with these airlines, they even offer, some of them offer free bags and things like that too. So just kind of showing you that. Delta, American Express card, and Fly Delta app. If you're flying, I know we got a few people flying on Delta. Baggage fees are $45 per bag each way, 50 pounds maximum. If you have a Sky Miles Platinum or American Express card, bags are free. WestJet airline, funny thing, I was not able to get an exact answer on the WestJet, although my air department did. Okay, 142. Okay, it looks like your WestJet flight includes one free ticket or one free suitcase. So I just got an email from the air department. It says the air contract for this group includes one free piece of checked luggage. So that should say that on your booking reference on your blue document. So that's kind of nice. So be aware of that. That might be a freebie for those of you flying WestJet one way. They also are 50 pounds maximum. Okay. Air Canada, 45 to 54. Again, it's very difficult on their website to get a straight answer, but should be in that price range about the same. I'm thinking it's 45 and then 50 pounds maximum on Air Canada as well. We have a lot of different airlines. So I was trying to kind of get it all in there. So let's talk about luggage since we're on that subject. You are all welcome to bring 3 items. 1 large suitcase, 1 carry-on bag, preferably soft-sided, and a personal item. So I have some images here of some of the samples of items. For a large suitcase, they allow big, like 50 pounds, 62 linear inches, really big. You're fine with that. The nice thing about that is, once you get it on the bus, we'll transport it to your hotel room and then we'll bring it back to the bus for you. And I would recommend with your let's talk about the big suitcase, that you put identification on it, inside and out. And if you don't have luggage, new luggage, you want to go buy some new luggage, I always recommend TJ Maxx because I think they have the best prices and quality stuff. They even carry Samsonite. So big suitcase. For your carry-on, however, I would recommend a backpack or a tote bag or tough duffel bag or a small rolling bag. If you're not planning to check a bag and you're going to just carry on a bag, you can bring a rolling bag. They will take those, but remember that if it can't fit on the plane, they might check it at the door for free. So
Yes, I'm
again,
coming to the Italian meeting. I'm on a webinar now. I can't talk, Shirley.
So for your carry-on, I use a backpack. I think it's just hands-free, nice and easy. That's my carry-on bag. And then of course I carry a tote bag as well. So I'll go through those things with you next. For your large suitcase, we have given you a blue luggage tag. That blue luggage tag is not for the airplane. So do not put that on for the airplane. It's only for the hotel. So I'm afraid if you put it on your suitcase before you leave Detroit, it might get ripped off the bag. Because as you can tell, it's just a chintzy little stretchy cord. But that's actually for our porters to bring it from the bus to your hotel room. So we only need your name, nice and big and clear, just your first and last name, so that our porters can carry your bag for you to your rooms, okay, at the hotel. So that's in Calgary. So again, that brings me to your own identification. Make sure you put out your own identification on it and save that tag for when you arrive in Calgary. And then what to carry with you. Let's talk about like on the plane itself. Your suitcase will be checked all the way to Calgary. When you get to Calgary, you're going to clear customs. You'll have to clear customs in Calgary. So we didn't talk about that. I guess we probably should. When you land in Calgary, you'll have to show your passport. They'll ask you some questions. You'll clear customs. You'll claim your bag. And then you go outside of the customs area. And that's where you'll find Nalani because she can't go inside the customs area. So then she'll find you outside of the baggage area. Okay. So let's talk about your carry-on and personal items. So in your carry-on, again, consider a soft-sided, easy bag for you. I do recommend a small tote bag maybe as your personal item, or if you have a purse, that's fine. But normally I bring a small tote and in it goes my little purse. And then I have all my necessities inside my tote bag, like my earbuds, my hand sanitizer, my phone charger, a book, a magazine, anything that I want in my tote bag, a sweater, all that stuff, my medication. I put all that in my tote bag and I put that under the seat in front of me off to the side. My backpack goes up. My carry-on always goes up and my tote bag is off to the side by my legs and has everything I need at my fingertips. All the things you would want, a snack or a book or anything that you want to have in that. You are welcome to bring a CPAP machine. You just have to make sure there's going to be a way to get some distilled water, but you can bring a laptop, your purse, a camera bag, any of that stuff as an extra personal item. I would definitely recommend, again, a phone charger, earbuds, maybe a refillable water bottle. You can't bring water through TSA, but you certainly can bring an empty bottle through if you want a refillable bottle, book, magazine, medication. Again, I use sanitizing wipes to clear my area when I fly. I bring them with me, just a little pack from the dollar store, and I clean my area. And then of course, a change of clothing, because those of you, not everybody, but those of you that have a connection, What would you need if your bag were delayed for a day, right? You got to think about that. My gosh, what if my bag got stuck and I didn't have my bag with me? Make sure in your carry-on bag you have an extra change of clothing, maybe undergarments, and maybe something to sleep in, maybe things to freshen up with a little toothbrush, toothpaste, whatever you might need to have for the next day if your bag got delayed. I don't like to put that out there, but it certainly can happen. So make sure you are prepared with your carry-on bag to have those things. And since I'm talking about, I mentioned purses, I always downsize my purse to a crossbody that goes, over my head and in front of me. And it just makes travel that much easier. And when I travel, when I go through security, I put that inside my tote bag. And then I have my tote bag and my backpack. And it's very, very easy to get through the airport. So let's talk about TSA and going through TSA and carry on and all that. So liquids, let's talk about liquids. You are welcome to bring liquids under 3 ounces, meaning like a little hand sanitizer, little hand lotion, eye drops, little bottles. You can bring those as long as they're under 3 ounces. You can put those, they allow you to bring a quart size Ziploc bag, one per person, full of all your little liquids. And the reason they do that is because they like them all together in a clear, visible bag to go through security. Okay, one bag per person. If you're bringing liquids over 3 ounces, you have to put those in your checked luggage. And I always recommend Ziploc bag. Put any liquids large in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag in your suitcase. Again, because if you carry on those and try to go through TSA, they will confiscate them. I mean, I know people who've lost very expensive bottles of lotion and things like that because they tried to bring them through TSA. So definitely not. If you are TSA pre-check, make sure that you're prepared for that. That's a different area than the regular TSA. So I'll be there to kind of guide you in Detroit. And then also, as you're going through security, you'll have to put your bags up on the belts in the tubs, and it'll go through security, take off your jacket, all that stuff. So shoes can stay on, which is good. So let's talk about medications. This is also a very important subject. And we all have medications that, some that are more important than others and things. So this is a really important thing. If possible, TSA does prefer the original bottles, but they will allow you to bring a quart-sized Ziploc bag with your medications in it now too. Keep them all together in a quart-sized Ziploc bag. If you have giant prescription bottles, perhaps you can ask your pharmacist if they can give you smaller ones, and then you can just take the amount of medications you need. Some pharmacies will give you a small bottle and put your label on it, which is really nice. Mine are small, so I carry them all with me. And then I do use a pill organizer, and I travel with it. But in that is all my vitamins. I have them all spread out. So I would carry extra medications with you. The best advice I can give you is to maybe make a little note card. And on that note card, have your medications, what you take, what you're allergic to, perhaps your blood type, your doctor's emergency number. If you had any kind of medical emergency, that little note card would be really, really handy and helpful, especially if you're traveling with a friend who doesn't know your health history. It's not a bad idea to do that. So medications, vitamins, keep them with you. I wouldn't recommend putting those in your suitcase because obviously if there's a connection, you don't want to be without your meds, okay? So certainly kind of figure out what's best. You could even take pictures of your prescription bottles if that's what you want to do. Just be prepared for TSA. And again, I am following the important travel information and helpful hint document. And now I'm on the second page. If you flip the page, it says comfort on airplanes and avoiding jet lag, things like that. So my best advice is right here. Dress comfortable for your fly days. Canada will be 2 hours behind the Eastern time zone. I know that Chicago's only 1 hour. Like, it depends where you're coming from. Green Bay will be 1 hour, but Michigan will be 2 hours. I'm not sure about Phoenix. I think that might even be in the same time zone. I'm not sure, but just know that they're on mountain time. Avoid too much caffeine the day of travel. Reason being, it can cause dehydration. from the elevation, and you don't want headaches and cramping to happen, right? So try to avoid caffeine and drink water. I do disinfect my area. As I mentioned, I bring wipes and I clear it. I certainly get up and stretch if I need to stretch. I use hand sanitizer. If I use the bathroom on the plane, make sure your hands are clean, come back and use hand sanitizer, and, take your personal items with you, things that are important, make sure you have those with you on the plane. But certainly, neck pillows are great. If you want, if you like to doze off on the flight, what have you, but certainly, try to make your flight days as comfortable as possible. The next paragraph in this document says clothing. So on our tours, we never require people to be dressed up. So everything will be nice and casual and comfortable. But when you're thinking about what you want to pack, so refillable water bottle, I mentioned, perhaps some sunglasses. I'm not sure if you'll need sunscreen, but
Do you want something from Portillo's? Kind of beef? Yeah,
What do you want?
with a sweet pepper.
Jessica, can you ask her to, thank you. Medications, obviously with you, your phone charger, all those things, make sure you have those with you. Comfortable walking shoes are going to be the most important thing. And I'm going to tell you, not only bring like a good tennis shoe or a nice light hiking shoe boot kind of thing if you want that, but make sure you have a good comfortable pair of shoes to walk in. But I also recommend some sandals, because if you're walking around the hotel and you just want to, or walking through town, you just want some sandals, some comfortable walking sandals are always good too. Or if you're going to go to use the pool, you want to have some flip-flops or some sandals to walk with. Comfortable, casual. Definitely, I know we talk about weather later in the meeting, but check the weather before you pack and then pack accordingly. We are going to hit different elevations, right? So you need to have, I would always recommend taking a jacket. Remember I mentioned my tote bag that's on the plane? I use that same tote bag on the bus, and on the bus every day, I take my jacket, I take my phone charger and my medications and all the things I need, and I just leave my tote bag on the seat when I get off the bus. And I've always got my jacket, always a good way to bundle up. And perhaps this might sound a little bit weird, but I might recommend a thin pair of gloves. Those thin, stretchy pair, or a nice thin pair that maybe you have for the winter, dig those out and maybe pack those. Because if you go to when you go to the glacier day, it might be chilly, right? You just never know. It's kind of like living in the Midwest. We never know what it's going to be like. So definitely be prepared. I probably, if I was doing this trip, would bring a scarf, like a thin, nice scarf, and maybe some light gloves and a hat. And that day, if it's chilly, I am prepared. Okay. You probably won't see really wintry weather, but it could be chilly when you get up in those altitudes, right? Any liquids, again, I mentioned big Ziploc bags are always good for liquids in your suitcase, jacket, something for your dirty laundry. And then of course that tote bag is always good for the bus. So, just again, check the weather, pack accordingly, and you should be good, casual, comfortable. If you want to go out one night for a nice fancy dinner, by all means, bring something nice to wear and feel free to dress up if you want. So the next paragraph or the next column at the very top says tour director. Nalani O'Brien is your tour director. And I know a lot of you maybe on this trip were with us in the Great Trains and Grand Canyons tour, and you fell in love with the tour guide, Clinton. Well, I reached out to Clinton personally and begged him to do this trip, but he's not licensed to tour guide in Canada. So he told me to tell you all hello, and that he wishes he could do it, but you are going to love Nalani. I selected her myself. She is a sweetheart. She's Canadian, but she lives in California. So she knows Canada like the back of her hand, right? She is been all over the world. She is loves just to, get to know everybody and really share all kinds of information with you. As a matter of fact, I contacted her today to see if she could join us, but she's on a tour right now. So I was like, oh, shoot, I was hoping she could step on the meeting and say hello. But she promised me to let you know that she is going to fill you with information. She'll have maps. She'll tell you all about the town, how to get around, where you're going, what you're doing. She's very excited to stay at this hotel. She said there's a hike she might want to do on her free time. So certainly enjoy. She's great. And the next paragraph in the document talks about gratuities. So this is always a very, very important subject I'd like to share with everyone. So in your packet, there are 2 envelopes. There's a green envelope and a yellow envelope. So you're going to have Nalani from the beginning of your trip till the end of your trip. She's going to meet you at the airport and stay with you the entire trip. She's going to make this whole thing come together, be very organized, share all the timing and everything you need to know. And Nalani is a contracted worker. She is not an employee, so she does not have a salary from Premier World Discovery. She gets a stipend and she gets her expenses, but like a waitress or a service person or someone that's in the service industry, they work for tips. So that's what this is about. So tipping is done at the very end of the trip. And I am a firm believer, being an ex-waitress myself, that it's earned, right? So you give what amount you are comfortable sharing with her at the end of the trip. The recommended amount is in this document. So this is coming right from the helpful hint document. Under gratuities, we recommend $10 to $13 per person per day. So you can do the math. It's 6 days. That money would go into the green envelope. I asked her today about tipping, and she said she lives in California. So that makes it easy for you all if you wanted to put, your cash in the envelope. What I always do is I go to the bank prior to the trip. I get the tip money. I put it in the envelopes and forget about it. That way, at the end of the trip, I don't seal it because I might want to add more money, but at the end of the trip, I don't have to scramble to go to an ATM to try to get cash and right? It's very easy if you have it ready. Inside your packet, on the left side, if you dig under there, there is a secret compartment underneath this little flap, and that's where my envelopes are always hiding. And that's where I leave them. Or you can put them in your safe if you want, if you have cash in there and you're more comfortable doing that as well. The driver now, on the other hand, the driver's tip is less. They have a salary. They're $5 to $7 per person per day times 6 days. And that would be a Canadian tip. However, if you want to give them American money because it's easier for you to calculate and figure out, I'm sure that's fine too. You could throw American money in there and give that to the driver and they'll go to their bank and they'll figure it out. So again, tipping is done at the end of the trip. It is customary. It's how they make their living. Really, that's how they get the majority of their pay. So up to you how and when you want to do that, okay? Usually it's either done at the farewell dinner or maybe at the airport the last day. So let's jump to the next paragraph that talks about the hotel. So funny thing, I contacted 4 people about your hotel today. The man who booked it from our office, I contacted Nalani, I contacted another Canadian tour guide, and I called the hotel because I wanted all the scoop, right? I wanted to know everything about this hotel. So this hotel is just been refurbished. I even looked on the Google reviews. No, I looked on hotels.com reviews, and they were spectacular. This is a big, beautiful hotel in the north end of Banff. You are staying here the entire time. So I always encourage people to go on the website or even just look around the internet for all the pictures. It's so beautiful. There should be lots of flowers, a really lovely time to go. And it is located right in Banff, right on Banff Avenue. Okay. I have a note at the bottom there that says friendly reminder. Hotel service might not be available every day. The days of stripping the beds and bleaching and vacuuming and scrubbing every day are kind of a thing of the past. But if you need anything, more towels or anything, more shampoo or whatever you need, ask the front desk. You're there for the whole time for 5 nights. So you want to make sure that you have everything you need. More than likely, they'll come and clean the rooms every day, but it's kind of a European feel there and things are a little bit different. So again, just be aware that if you need anything to let them know. Okay. Now I've got a few other features that, again, after my phone calls and research and everyone I've asked, I wanted to share some really cool details about the hotel. So the Rundle Stone Lodge has a complimentary bus pass that is the pickup for the bus is 15 seconds from the front door. It's literally like, it's a 15-minute bus ride into town. It does make stops, or you can walk into town, about 15 to 20-minute walk, a nice stroll into town if you'd prefer that. But those of you that need the extra, boost to get you into town, the bus is free. And it'll just take you in, and it goes every 15 minutes. So it's available. The hotel also has coin laundry available. And when I talked to the girl today, she said, we can even exchange small bills if they need coins. So since you're staying in one place the whole time, I thought I would let you know that. There is an indoor pool and hot tub, absolutely made of big stone like walls. It's really rustic and beautiful. It's open from 8 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For those of you like me, at the end of a day, I love to sit in the hot tub. It's just if you've never done it after a long day on a bus, I promise you, it is so relaxing and nice. So if you're going to pack a swimsuit, don't forget that if you want to do something like that. There are restaurants and coffee shops within walking distance. The girl at the hotel told me, she goes, there's a large convenience gas station. She goes, but it's really big and really nice. And there's all kinds of stuff there. So if you want to pick things up, it is a 3-minute walk from the hotel. And Nalani told me that there's a lovely like grocery store market in town as well. So she'll make you aware of all that. Behind the hotel is Tunnel Mountain. There is a hike. If any of you are daring and brave and want to take a hike, I think Nalani's planning to do that. It's a big hike. It's about a 90-minute hike to the top. But again, even just to stroll around the base of the mountain is pretty cool. So you'll be able to walk around and enjoy Banff. Here's a few more things I found out. They call it classic alpine comfort. So what that says to me, it's going to feel very European, very Swiss Alp type. I find Banff to be very rustic, but upscale rustic. So you'll find these lovely shops and rustic buildings, and everything gives you that kind of mountain feel. A lot of the places you're visiting are ski towns. So in the summer, they're resorts, but in the winter, they're ski towns. So lots and lovely. But, they say you can recharge in the pool and hot tub, but they use Rocky Mountain Soap Company toiletries. So really that's very special to them. And then as you can see over here, what's nearby, Banff National Park is a 1-minute walk. There's information centers nearby, Central Park, getting around. Again, there's so many things you can do around there, restaurants nearby. So certainly a lot of options for you since you have lots of free time in Banff to explore the area. There are in the final or in the helpful hint document, the next paragraph says meals. So if you flip to the right side of that, in the top column, it says meals on the left side. So you have 8 meals included, 5 breakfasts, so breakfast every day, a really special lunch, which I'll talk about. And then you have a welcome dinner and a farewell dinner. And then you'll have some meals on your own in town, which you'll love, because group meals, although they're great, they get, kind of the same after a while. And if any of you have dietary needs of any kind, please tell Nalani, because she'll be there to help you with that if you need any special meal items, things like that as well. Okay, it's important that we communicate those things. The next paragraph says motor coach equipment and motor coach seating. So you'll be on probably like a nice big 55, 56 passenger bus. Seats will be rotated daily. I'm not sure how Nalani's planning to do that, but many of them you stay in the same seat for the whole day, but then the next day she might rotate the seats so that everybody gets an opportunity to move around the bus a little bit. I do want you to take notice that some buses have USB outlets. So when you get on that bus, take notice if they have USB outlets on the bus. If they do, you certainly want to bring your phone charger with you on the bus. And we'll talk about phones in a little bit, but certainly something to look at. The next paragraph says smoking. So the trip itself is non-smoking in accordance to the law, the hotel and the bus, things like that. But we will have, if anybody on the group is a smoker, no problem. There'll be designated times and areas, and Nalani can help you with that as well. Okay. Here are the temperatures. Now, this is kind of average right now. Very lovely. It never gets very, very hot there, but this is kind of like their warm season. So, but again, As we hit different altitudes, that will change. So you definitely want to layer up evenings. I'm going to tell you right now, evenings will be cool because you'll have cool mountain air coming off the mountains at night. So be prepared to kind of, I hate to say bundle up, but maybe layer up a little bit, right? I wouldn't bring a winter heavy coat, but maybe a nice heavy fleece coat or a light puffy coat, things like that, and then layer up underneath that. Okay, check that weather before you go. Very next paragraph talks about name badges. So my lanyard, these are very important. I hope you can all see me on the screen, but all of you have this lanyard. And what you need to do is you take out the white card. And on that white card, we need your first name. Now, mine is on the screen because that's exactly what mine looks like. What I did, you cannot use a marker on this. And you really have, pen is a little tricky also because it's that slippery material. So if you use a black marker, you just might want to put a big piece of tape over it, like shipping tape. Or I went on the computer on a Word document, just typed my name, and I cut it out with some scissors and I glued it on here because it looked really good. If you have a label, you could slap a label on there and then write your name, but all we need is your first name. That's it, just your first name. And we do ask that you wear these. And the first time you're going to put this on is when you land in Calgary. You have 2 jobs. You want to put on your lanyard and remember to put your luggage tag on. So maybe even put your luggage tag inside the lanyard so that you remember to put it on your suitcase. And we ask that you wear this daily. It just, trust me, by the end of the trip, you'll get to know everyone's names. On the very back of the lanyard, there's a little pouch, a little zipper pouch in there, and you can fit a room key. There were days I never even took my purse. I just put everything in there. I put my credit card, my room key, my cash, all that stuff in there. And remember, the money is Canadian currency. It's a little bit different. So we'll talk about that. But so your lanyard is yours. I've actually even had travelers that put like butterfly stickers on it or like dress it up a little bit. So I'll leave it up to you how you want to do that. But certainly get that ready to go as well. Your name badge. And then the very next paragraph says good traveler code. We do just ask that you have a open mind and be flexible. Things can change, things can tweak. Travel is unpredictable. So we want you to all have an amazing vacation, an amazing tour. So if there's any hiccups, Nalani will fix it and she will come up with plan B. Whatever the case may be, we are there to make sure everything goes as smooth as possible. Okay. So we want you to just make sure if there's any kind of hiccup, don't stress, don't get upset, take a deep breath and just let us handle it and let Nalani fix it. Okay. Anybody needing special assistance? All these airlines offer a wheelchair. If you need a wheelchair at Detroit, I was actually at the airport this morning and there was a lady and she had a cane and I said to her, you probably should get a wheelchair. And she's like, oh, you think so? She was kind of unsure. I said, please get a wheelchair because you're going to walk a pretty good distance to get to the gate. And then she reached out to me after and thanked me. She said, thank you so much for recommending that. It was so nice. So travel days are tiring. And if you have a cane or it's just hard for you to walk distances, by all means, ask for a wheelchair at the airport and they'll put that in when you come and go round trip. So now let's talk about money, the very last paragraph. So if you want to get some Canadian money before you go, most banks would have Canadian money available, or they can get it usually within 5 business days. So you don't have to because you can convert money when you get there. But if you'd like to have a little bit of Canadian money, by all means, go to your bank and maybe convert some when you get there. Certainly do that right away. I would try to get there because it might take a few days to get some Canadian money. Not too much because you might find yourself spending on a credit card. I'm not a big cash user. When I travel, I try not to have too much cash, but you might prefer cash. And if you do, then, decide how much you want to bring. Clean out your wallet before you go. Only bring what's necessary. I have a big giant wallet in my purse, but when I travel, I have this tiny little billfold thing, and it just has my, my credit cards, some cash, my passport, my information's all together in a small place. And I do recommend maybe some cash, credit cards, debit card. Because it's international, there could be credit card fees. So make sure that you bring a credit card that does not have international fees. Matter of fact, just today I applied and got the Capital One Venture card. There's a lot of cards like that that do have no fees for travel. So for international conversion, I mean, debit cards, usually they do have a fee. The fees are minuscule, very small fees. I had one lady the other day say, when I came home, I had like $4 in fees. So it's really small. But again, just be aware. It's my job to let you know if you put a debit card into an ATM, there will be fees to use the debit card in the ATM, but you can then get Canadian money. Any card you bring, lay it on the table and take a picture of it with your cell phone, front and back. Because on the back of your credit card or debit card, it says if lost or stolen, call this number, right? So you want to make sure that you have all that handy if you were in a situation and that happened. You want to have that information. You may even want to contact your credit card company or your bank if you're using a debit card that you'll be traveling. Visa, MasterCard are widely accepted. I don't know how widely accepted American Express is in Canada. I'm sure that it might be. I'm sure that some places will take it. Same goes for Discover. I would prefer that you bring Visa, MasterCard, so it's always accepted. And then maybe an envelope for all your receipts, that type of thing, okay? So money is, really up to you. The nice thing about staying in one hotel is you should have a safe in the room. You should be able to put your cash away. So, and the very back of the important travel information and helpful hint document is a packing checklist. And then also the emergency telephone number to our main office. So if any of you had family that says, hey, how can I get a hold of you if there's a family emergency? These numbers are 24 hours. And also, again, there's the duplicate copy of the Air and Hotel information to also leave with family members. That sheet, that Air and Hotel, that one sheet, or take a picture of it with your cell phone and text it to your family. So really not a bad idea so that everyone kind of knows where you are. Really quickly with cell phones, most carriers include Canada. Most do. I would recommend you contact your carrier and your plan and check for your Canadian international coverage. If you don't want to use your phone, you want to go in and use just WhatsApp for free communication. If you don't have free Canadian coverage, you could use things like WhatsApp or other apps to communicate that way as well. I do recommend a portable charger. Your battery on your phone will be gobbled up really quickly because if you're taking pictures with your cell phone, definitely bring a portable charger on the bus or see if the bus has a USB that you can charge your phone in the afternoon. Those little portable chargers are affordable and you just plug your phone into the little charger and it will charge up your phone while you're on the bus. So something to consider. If you bring a portable charger, they must be in your carry-on bag because they are a battery, they have a battery in them and they like them to be in your carry-on, not your checked luggage. So something to consider with your cell phones. Certainly look into that as well because you are traveling. Now, before I finish my meeting and open for questions, I'm just going to show you a few pictures because just to get you in the mood here and get you excited, you'll be transferring about 90 minutes from Calgary to Banff. You're about an hour and a half away. The drive is this beautiful. This is Bow Valley Parkway that takes you from one to the other. So it will take your breath away from the start. Banff is a quaint, clean, beautiful town in a valley surrounded by mountains. So it is the perfect hub and spoke location. Some of the things you'll be seeing, like day 2, the majestic Canadian Rockies are this beautiful. Snow-capped mountains. You have these beautiful waters. They have the water reflects the mountains a lot. Hopefully you'll see wildlife in the Canadian Rockies. We ask you to share the road. This can happen. The bus might have to stop and let a elk cross the road or a bear or something. You never know. So you always want to be ready and paying attention for the wildlife sharing the road with you and some beautiful horned animals. This can happen at any time. The Valley of 10 Peaks in Moraine Lake, look at the water. That is glacial water that has come down from the mountains. It's turquoise and it reflects from the mountains in the sky. Beautiful. The most majestic Lake Louise, And then, of course, all kinds of more wildlife. Yoho National Park. You're going to learn about the spiral tunnels in the Yoho National Park and the Canadian Rail. Very, very big and very part of their history. You are going to the Chateau Lake Louise for
Ooh,
lunch. I think we have some people that are not muted,
yay.
so sorry, Jessica, if you can mute them. Chateau Lake Louise, you are nowadays only allowed to go inside if you're staying there or having a meal. So good luck and you're welcome. We are taking you there for lunch. And this is the view. Now, when I went there, of course, my sister lived in Calgary, so I've walked through here many times. The view from the dining room is outlooking the mountains in Lake Louise. It is absolutely astounding. So you want to have your cameras ready. You'll see the Bow Falls. We are taking you up to the top of Sulphur Mountain on the gondolas in Banff, and that will take you to the top of the mountain. Then you can overlook, Banff and the valley and all that as well when you get to the top. It's wonderful. There's a gift shop up there and all kinds of things to see and do. You're also visiting Jasper National Park on this trip, and through Jasper, you'll be able to see the all the glaciers and the Icefield Parkway, Peyto Lake. Absolutely. This is an area that not a lot of tours visit Jasper. So we're really honored and excited to get you through into this area and look at Peyto Lake, probably one of the most beautiful lakes in all of Canada, and the gorgeous mountainside. You are going on the Athabasca Glacier. I just had somebody tell me the other day that their family member had just did this and it was the highlight of her life. She literally said the highlight of her life. It was so incredible for her to be on a glacier and actually standing there. So, Nalani will remind you about bundling up and stuff like that, but this is really, truly an amazing experience and all from your one town. So you will have free time in Banff on day 5. There possibly might be an optional tour offered. Originally, I think there was, but I don't see it on there. There must be a reason for that, but Nalani will have all kinds of optional things available for you to do, as well as the hotel. I mean, you'll definitely want that last day to decompress, do some shopping. So hold off all your souvenir shopping till the end because you'll have a whole day to do it. And you're definitely going to really enjoy this beautiful adventure. So I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to go ahead and see about if Jessica has any questions in the chat for me that I can answer.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in for a few things that I wrote down while I was processing everything today. Just a small little update. You'll be receiving a box from Gleaner. And I guess I should have told Tracy this, but I went ahead and made everybody their own name tags. So they're going to be included in that box. That is mostly for me. I want to see your name nice and big so that I can get to know you and address you appropriately. So if in your box there were name tags that you would prefer a different name, please let me know. I'll bring them. I'll pass them out when we're all together on the motor coach. I tried to remember the ones that are joining us again, your preferred badge names. So please let me know if I can just adjust those moving forward. You'll also be getting a box of goodies. Those items are for you to take if you would wish. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but they're there for you if you want them. We didn't want to bring them to the hotel and then you have to take them back. So they're there for you to use on the trip, off the trip, whatever you would prefer. Let's see. I also included in the little goodie bag my business card, and Tracy mentioned this lovely little zipper pouch on the back. Put my business card in there. It's got my cell phone on it. It's a great way to get a contact with me if maybe you're running late to any of our bus stops or anything like that. So love a text message. We'll answer that all day long. Phones are a little bit harder for this millennial, but I'm willing to pick them up for you all. Those of you that indicated a dietary restriction, I have already contacted the caterer because we did have some food questions, and she named off quite a few of you that had indicated your dietary needs. So it sounds like that has already been taken care of. You must have did that during the application process. But there were a group of you that had specific needs and she named them off. So I was happy to hear that. But for those that are interested in what we'll be eating for breakfast, because we are Gleaners and when Gleaners meet, Gleaners eat, there is going to be a nice spread. It'll have proteins, because I know somebody was interested in that. It's going to also have your breakfast norms, your pancakes, your one day, maybe French toast another day, cereal, pastries. It's going to be a nice little opportunity for you to fuel up before we head out. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm excited to hear there's a coffee shop. I tried to find one earlier, and I was striking out. So I'm glad to hear there's one close by. It is pumpkin spice season for all the pumpkin spice girlies in the chat or gentlemen. And then
Pumpkin spice coffee.
pumpkin spice. It's my jam. It's delicious. You went over the money conversion. Is that something that can be taken care of at the airport as well once we arrive to Calgary? Are you aware of that? Or is it recommended to go to your local bank beforehand?
To get money, you could go to your local bank and ask and see if they can get it to you. Some of the banks might even just have Canadian money right on hand, depending on the size of your bank and which bank you go to. But you can definitely get money when you get there. Nalani, I mean, the greatest thing about being in a town like this, there's banks there. There's places to convert money there too. So, and the hotel did tell me they have a little bit to convert if you want. So certainly, oh no, she didn't say convert. I apologize. She meant to coins. So if you have Canadian money, you can give her money to give you coins for laundry. Sorry. So I would definitely ask your bank. Wouldn't hurt to ask. And if they don't have it available, you can get it when you get there. And Nalani can help you.
I'm sure our Michigan fellows won't have any problem being this close to Canada, but I do worry about the ones that are in Arizona. So make sure that you give a call and see if they can do that. If not, it sounds like it's going to be something we can accommodate on site. So the chat that we had that I'd like to bring up right now is that United's website and their app is saying that with a basic economy seat, no carry-on that doesn't fit under a seat is allowed. Is that your understanding?
No, you're fine bringing a standard carry-on bag, 45 linear inches. So all that's all in our contract. So you're fine. Don't even worry about any of that at all. Don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I know United has they all have a weird website because they say all kinds of different things. I was even looking at the other websites and I'm like, oh, there's so much this or that if you're this type of ticket or that type of ticket. So you are all good. You're in a group, so we've got it all contracted that way.
We can have a carry-on that goes overhead and a carry-on under the seat.
Perfect. Yeah, or a personal item under the seat, right?
Personal, yeah, that's probably a better way to say it. Yeah. Julie has shared that the Calgary airport does have a click and collect, and you can order it early. They do not have an exact exchange rate. I'm not familiar with that. It's my first time flying international, so I'm assuming that's something where you can do some conversion with your money.
Yeah, and Nalani, like I said, she'll be at the airport with you, and some of you might have time while you're waiting for other groups. She might even recommend an exchange place right at the airport that's easy to do there and as well. Or she might say, okay, folks, I've been waiting on some more people to fly in. Go grab a coffee. You can exchange money, use the restroom, that type of thing. So be patient. You're going to go through customs, which can take up to an hour. I should mention that if you've never done this before, customs can take up to an hour. And once you get done and you all get through, kind of Nalani has to wait for everybody to come out, right? It's kind of one of those things. So you'll have time. Usually at the airport, you should find place to exchange too. Yeah.
Questions that they'd like to unmute for, raise that hand icon so that I can call on you. I'd be happy to do that now. Charlie, go ahead.
When we fly out of Detroit, you said door 3. Is that the McNamara terminal?
Oh, thank you. I had it. It was up on the slide, but I didn't say it. Evans Terminal, not McNamara. Evans. Okay. Out of Detroit, you're flying Evans. American is at the Evans and United's at the Evans. Yep.
Okay.
Evans Terminal. And you're coming back on WestJet. You're coming back on WestJet, which will be the McNamara Terminal. So if someone's picking you up, if you're flying home on WestJet back to Detroit, it would be the McNamara Terminal because WestJet is a partner with Delta. Okay. So good question. Really good question.
If our carry-on bags need to be checked, because there's no room, will he be charged the
No,
fee?
no. No, they take them at the door. If that happens, they take them at the door, they tag them, and then they either put them right outside the door when you get off the plane, or they send them down with bags. They won't charge you for that.
Okay.
All right, Sue, go ahead and unmute and answer or ask your question.
Actually, James wants to.
Oh, okay.
You see this card?
Yes.
Yes, your luggage
Blue.
tag.
Why is there only one?
Well, you should have a one, it's for your checked luggage. One per person. You should have two in your packet. Do you have two?
No,
No?
we only
All right,
have one.
I'll bring some to the airport. Jessica, do you have any extra or not? Do you just
I
have the
have a
one?
few. I think I
Okay.
have like 4 or 5 that they provided to me, but I do have extra that I'll make sure I'll bring.
Yeah, you should have one per person is what it should be. So thanks for asking. Definitely,
Should have
we'll
two.
get you one at
Should
the
have two.
airport. Yeah.
We'll make sure you have some for sure.
Human error packing, stuffing those packets.
All right, Julie, you're the next one to answer or ask your question. Go ahead and unmute. I can unmute you. I wish it would let me do that.
Can't figure it out. Maybe at the top on the right, it says Mike.
Yeah,
MIC.
are you calling in on a computer? Yeah, so up in the upper right, there should be like a little microphone. And if it's got a slash through it, perfect. There you go. Oh, you're unmuted, but we cannot hear you. Are you wearing headphones, Bluetooth headphones? No? Okay. Have you connected headphones to your computer before? No? Okay. That's always my mistake. They're always listening somewhere else.
Maybe you could type it in the chat, maybe?
Yeah. Why don't you? No. Oh, I'm sorry. You could give me a call tomorrow and I'd be happy to get any questions that are answered for those who are having a hard time even unmuting or maybe something that pops up later. You can call me and I will put my phone number in the chat. But it's community engagement. Also, if you just call the Gleaner line, Jessica, community engagement. My direct line is 517-265-3141. That will come right to me. And if I can't answer it, I'll go ahead and make sure that I loop in Tracy and we'll get that answer for you right away. But I'm going to go ahead and jump in. We're going to take Valerie's call. Go ahead and unmute Valerie and answer your question. Ask your question. Can't get that right. And see that you're unmuted, but unfortunately, Valerie, we can't hear you either. Your hand. All right. Valerie, unfortunately, I can't hear you. And I can't see you to know if you guys are speaking or not. But we are not able to hear you at this time. So I'm going to jump in and take Julie's question in the chat. If we each only have one blue ticket for our checked luggage, what do we do with our carry-on?
Put your own identification on your carry-on. Yeah, because
that's going to be the one that's with you.
Yeah, the blue tag is, again, not for the plane. The blue tag is for the hotel. So we are transporting your bag from the bus to the hotel back to the bus on the last day. So it's for our porters, our hotel porters, baggage porters, to bring your bag from the room back to the bus and back and forth. So that's what that's for. It's not for the plane. So you just need it for that purpose. But I would put identification on your carry-on as well. It's a good question.
Yeah, the suitcases go under the bus. Anything that you bring on the bus is what you would be responsible for on your person. So that is not going to be handed off to the bellhops.
Right.
Or the
Only
porters.
carry-on
It's
and
probably
personal
a better
item you are responsible for throughout the entire trip. So you'll be carrying
Yep.
it on the plane and through the airport and into your hotel room as well.
Correct. Yep. So they would not be responsible for that luggage. All right, Valerie, were you able to get your mic working? Doesn't look like it. Anybody else have any other questions, Valerie? I can reach out to you tomorrow and get your questions answered. If that's helpful, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll make a note for myself to call Valerie. All right. Anybody else have any other questions?
Do we need converters for electric devices?
Nope.
No, no converters.
No, thank goodness. One less thing you have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
That's a good
Do
question
you know
because
the,
people ask that.
do you know the fee to park at Detroit Airport?
You know, that's a good question. If you're going to park off-site, it's about, I think, $10, $12 a day. But if any of you are doing that, you could go on to airlines parking coupons. Just Google airline parking coupons and they come up. And you can bring a coupon and have it and leave it in your car. And then when you go to pay it, I think the coupons are sometimes like $10 a day. Something saves you $1 or $2, you know. So it's about $10 to $12 a day. In the garage, it's probably more like 20 to 25 a day if you park inside the garage. So
Whoa.
pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is if you're planning on staying up there the night before, just to give yourself an extra amount of time, sometimes those hotels will let you park on their property and they'll bus you in. So if you're looking for a hotel, make sure that you connect with them and see if that's something that they offer.
Good idea.
I checked with a few hotels and they do shuttle you in, but you do pay to leave your car there so much a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Julie, I'll be able to reach out to you guys. I did notice Shirley's name was also spelled wrong. So we'll go ahead and I'll follow up with you tomorrow and I'll follow up with Tracy too. And we'll connect on that and make sure that
Great.
everything's looking good for you guys and your travel arrangements.
What is the click and collect thing that's written over in some notes? What is that? At Calgary Airport, they have a click and collect and you can order it early. I don't know what that is.
I think it has to do with the money and doing an exchange.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Nalani will explain everything when you get there. If you have any questions about, just ask her. She's
Okay.
Canadian, but lives in Calgary, or lives in California. So she's got all the information for you.
Can you tell me the
All right.
current-
I'm going to check
Can
and
you
see
tell
if
me-
Julie, are you able to, or not Julie, Valerie, are you still able, are you unable to mute still? I can't put your hand down. There it is. Okay. I will follow up with you, Valerie and Lynn later. James and Sue Ann, go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Do you have the phone number for the resort?
It's on your documents. It's in the
Yep,
Air
that
and
is on
Hotel
one of the
document.
documents.
The address and website is all on that Air and Hotel document. Yeah.
Okay.
Where?
Sure
We'll
is.
find
At
it.
the bottom.
At this one right here. Right
One
here.
sheet of paper. Yep. It says Air and Hotel. It's all on there.
Okay.
And yes, 2 beds in every room. Great question.
That's my favorite. I love to put my luggage on one as a solo person and sleep in the
Same.
other.
Yeah, same. That's a good question.
Hit it again.
Yeah.
I
What
think they're
is
trying to
the
wrap it
current
up. We can
exchange
contact
rate?
Jessica. You have something.
Just one more.
Oh. They did go ahead and share some parking information in. Oh, I wish I would have turned that off. Okay. Last
Mr.
call.
Embry.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah,
Mr. Embry
You
has a
got one
question.
more?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
Charlie, go ahead.
When we fly into Denver and catch our other flight, is that another ticket?
You'll actually, Thank you for mentioning that. When you go to if you're having a connection, whichever airport you're flying in and out of, you're going to get 2 boarding passes if you have a connection. So the one to Denver and then the one from Denver to Calgary. So you will have 2 boarding passes, not a ticket, but it's a boarding pass. So my recommendation, and thank you for bringing this up, Charlie. My recommendation would be to put your boarding passes in that zipper pouch and keep that in your carry-on bag and keep it handy. And also when you go through security, TSA, you must have your boarding pass and your passport in your hand because they're going to want to see it immediately when you get to the front of the line for security. So thank you for bringing that up. That's really important. And then also you're going to get a claim check, a little sticker thing. Make sure that you keep that as well. Don't throw that away because, you know, when you get to the other end, if you need to find your bag and you don't have it, you need that claim check. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you.
All right. If there's no other questions, again, please reach out to me. Oh, we got one. Glenn and Judy, go ahead and unmute and ask.
The boarding passes will be physical paper or will they be on our phone?
Physical.
Okay.
They'll print them out at the airport. Not that the phone don't work okay, but it's always good to have that physical piece of paper if your phone happens to die in that moment or you can't pull it up, right? So they'll print them out for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
My
Sure.
microphone is on.
All right, James and Sue, go ahead and ask your question.
Do you know what fees would be if you wanted to mail home a said item that you have purchased?
I don't know. I would definitely ask in the store that you're shopping because some of the stores, you know, kind of have a program where they can do that for you. So every time you're shopping, you can ask that. Nalani might be better because she's, you know, being that she's lived in Canada and in the US, she might be a really good person to ask that for sure.
As somebody who ships a lot of items, it's a lot of it's based on weight. So it just depends on how much you're looking to ship, the size of the box. That's what it is on the US side, and I would assume it's kind of similar in the Canadian side.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'll give my little sign off again. If you guys are thinking and you have questions that pop up, please give me a call. My phone number is the 517-265-3141. That is my direct line. Also, if you've got my email address from all of these lovely reminders we received for, give me 1 second, that we received for this webinar, you can respond off of that. Be happy to answer anything via email, and I will always reach out to Tracy if it's something that I can't answer. So with that, we will be doing a recording sent your way here for anybody who, I love to tell us all the things. We'll be sending out a video recording here this week. If you were late to the show or you had somebody who wasn't able to join, feel free to forward it on to them and they can review this at their leisure. So with that, everybody have a beautiful evening. Looking forward to seeing everyone when we arrive. And again, let me know if I can help you with anything.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice
Yes.
evening.
Have a beautiful
Thanks.
evening. Julie, call Valerie. Julie, I will make sure that I call you. You're still muted, so I can't hear you. But I will call you tomorrow, sometime probably mid-morning. And feel free to call me anytime if you don't hear from me. All right. Guys, have a beautiful evening. I didn't mean to kick you, Tracy. I'm sorry. Oh.